Can you read your partner's mind without a single word? I mean, have you ever had that moment, the one where a whole conversation just happens with a single look? No words, just this instant understanding. It kind of feels like telepathy, right?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. We're talking about the secret, unspoken language that couples develop, especially after decades together. It's this incredible language of glances, sighs, those tiny shifts in expression that say everything.
And look, this isn't magic. It's not mind reading either. It's actually something way more complex and honestly, way more fascinating. It's a whole communication system built on a foundation of like 40 years of shared history, all the inside jokes, and yeah, all the arguments they've survived. So let's get into it. Let's see how this plays out in the everyday little things. Okay, so section 1, everyday negotiations. We're starting with the small stuff, right? The daily back and forths where this silent language is just constantly at work, helping them navigate all of life's little moments. All right, our first case study, the extra bowl of rice. Okay, so picture this. They're at the dinner table. The husband, he's finished his rice, but, he's still a little hungry. He doesn't say a thing, not a word. He just kind of looks at his wife, and it's all in his eyes, that question.
And this is where the magic happens. He just subtly pushes his bowl forward. It's this silent, hopeful plea, right? Can I have more? And her response? She just widens her eyes for a split second. That's it. Negotiation over. The message is received, loud and clear. That's enough. Absolutely no words needed.
Okay, let's move from the dinner table to the living room for our next case study, the battle for the remote. Ah, yes, the classic power struggle. I'm pretty sure this is a battlefield that's very familiar to many of us. So here's how it goes down. He's flicking through the channels, he pauses on something he actually wants to watch. But before he can even settle in, he feels it. That quick sidelong glance from his wife. He doesn't need to hear a single word. He knows exactly what that look means. The whole atmosphere for the rest of the night, it's on the line. So what does he do? He immediately lands on the news channel. Boom. Crisis averted.
All right, section 2, high-stakes signals. Because look, this language isn't just for negotiating who gets the remote or an extra serving of rice. No way. It's also used in much more serious, way more emotionally charged situations. So now we're going to look at some of these high-stakes signals.
Case study number 3, the waiting game. Oh, you know this one. The pre-outing standoff. The husband, he's all dressed, shoes are on, he is ready to go, standing by the door. The wife, still getting ready. So he kind of peeks around the corner, and his entire body language is just screaming, how much longer is this going to take? And she, of course, sees his reflection in the mirror, and her expression just says it all. Ugh, there's that look again. And this right here, brilliantly illustrates a core rule of their whole system. You might be asking, well, why don't they just talk? Because they know. After 40 years, they both know that speaking up in this exact moment, it's just going to start a fight. So silence becomes the strategy. It's a very deliberate choice, all to keep the peace. Okay, let's move on to case study number 4, the doctor's visit. And now the stakes get even higher. We're talking about something as serious as health. In this scenario, the wife is insisting she's perfectly fine. She's brushing off any concerns, saying she doesn't need to see a doctor. But her husband, he isn't even listening to her words. He's reading her face. And her expression, it's telling a completely different story. So, without a second of hesitation, he just picks up the phone and makes a doctor's appointment. He knows her tells, probably even better than she knows them herself. And this is where we get this absolutely brilliant analogy. This ability he has, it's not just simple intuition. It's like an AI that's been trained on one single incredibly complex subject, his wife, for 40 straight years. Think about that. It can predict outcomes and read micro-expressions with just stunning accuracy. And finally, we have our last case study, the forbidden topic. We've reached the ultimate danger zone, talking about the kids. The husband, he's just about to launch into some complaint, some criticism about one of their children. But before the words can even come out of his mouth, he's hit with this look of pure electricity from his wife. And just like that, he immediately changes the subject. Now, this isn't just him being polite or considerate. No. This is a pure survival instinct. He knows that look is a hard stop. It's a red line you absolutely do not cross if you, want to live to see another day. Which brings us to our final and, I think, most profound section, the survival system. So what is this silent language really all about? Well, the answer is surprisingly practical. See, after you spend that much time with one person, you learn something really fundamental. Words? Words can be clumsy. They get misinterpreted all the time, and sometimes, speaking up, it actually creates way more problems than it solves.
So, after seeing all these examples, let's circle back. What are we really looking at here? It's definitely not mind reading, it's not telepathy, it's not some kind of supernatural psychic connection. And this brings us to the core idea of this whole thing. The couple themselves, they describe it perfectly. They say, for us, it's not telepathy, it's a survival system. Think about that, a survival system. It's this highly evolved, incredibly efficient system for navigating all the complexities of a lifelong partnership with as little conflict as possible. It's all about preserving peace, understanding each other's needs, and just avoiding the unnecessary fights. And the husband sums it all up with this incredible quote. One look at my wife's face, and I know today's menu, the weather, and her mood. I mean, just think about the sheer amount of data that is compressed into that one single glance. It is the ultimate emotional shorthand. And that really leaves us with one last question to think about. Whether you've been with someone for 4 years or for 40, we all develop our own versions of this, don't we? So take a second and think about it. What does your survival system look like?